1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good evening, everyone. This is the Paso City Council meeting for Tuesday, April 15th at 4:30. We'll call the meeting to order and have roll call, please, Melissa.
Councilmember Bausch?
Here.
Councilmember Beal? Here. Councilmember Gregory?
Here.
Councilmember Strong?
Present.
Mayor Hammond?
Here. Item C, we have closed session items. We have, looks like, several. Elizabeth, would you like to go ahead and tell us what we're going to be doing?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We are going into closed session on 4 items, I believe. The first is public employee appointment pursuant to Government Code Section 54957B for the position of city manager. We're also going to be doing public employee labor negotiations pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6, again related to the city manager position. Conference with legal counsel regarding property negotiations pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8, and that relates to a portion of Pioneer Park located at 2010 Riverside Avenue. And the agency negotiators on that are Chris Hewitt, our interim city manager, and Angelica 14, the community services director. And then on the other side of the negotiations is the Paso Robles Pioneer Museum Foundation representatives. And finally, the last item we'll be discussing is conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation, and that's pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1. And the name of the case is the Tribune versus the City of Paso Robles and Chris Bausch.
Okay, very good. We'll call for public comment. Anyone regarding these items, please come forward. Seeing none, do we have anyone online?
No, sir.
Okay, we'll go ahead and adjourn then to closed session and reconvene at 6 p.m. Good evening, everyone, to the Paso Robles City Council meeting for April 15th, and we are reconvening from our closed session. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. If we all please stand, and we all have Pastor Dan doing the invocation afterwards. Councilman Belsch.
Please rise, repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in prayer. Father in heaven, we come this evening to humbly ask for your favor on this city council meeting. May you grant wisdom and humility and patience and charity to our elected officials, to our city staff, and to our residents and guests gathered here this evening. We ask that the deliberations, discussions, and decisions rendered tonight would continue to further the life of this city, that it would be a city that knows your justice and peace, that's vibrant, that its residents extend care for one another, and that our tourists and visitors are not only amazed by the beauty of the surrounding area and all that this region has to offer, but they're amazed by the kindness and goodness of this city and how it cares for its people. And so we ask this now on this Easter week, in my faith tradition, in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Dan from Covenant Church, Paso Robles. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll call, please?
Councilmember Belsch.
Here.
Councilmember Beal. Here. Councilmember Gregory.
Here.
Councilmember Strong.
Here.
And Mayor Hammond.
Here. And we'll have staff introductions beginning on my right.
Melissa Boyer, City Clerk, joined by Mary Sponholz, Deputy City Clerk, and Karen Jackson, IT Technician.
Warren Frace, Community Development Director.
Angelica Fortin, Community Services Director, and I would like to take this opportunity to introduce you to our very first ever Homeless Services Manager for the city, Ashley Hernandez.
All right. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor Hammond, council members, city manager, and community members. My name is Ashley Hernandez, and I'm honored to serve as the new Homeless Services Manager for the city of Paso Robles. I'm excited to join the team and to support the important work already underway through the city's homelessness strategic plan. I know that addressing homelessness is one of the most complex and pressing issues facing our city, and I'm here to help convene a coordinated, compassionate, and outcome-oriented response. I was asked to give you a quick overview. So as I get started, I've organized my first 90 days into 3 phases. The first 30 days, I'll focus on listening and learning, meeting with internal teams, local partners, service providers, and community members to better understand the landscape and, most importantly, build relationships. In the next 30 days, I'll work to align and prioritize, mapping what I've learned to the strategic plan, identifying gaps and opportunities, and defining key short-term goals and performance metrics. And by 90 days, I'll begin acting on those priorities, supporting early implementation efforts, launching and strengthening partnerships, and putting structures into place to sustain and track our progress. I want to thank all of you for your leadership and the opportunity to serve Paso Robles. Thank you.
Welcome aboard. We'll continue. Ditas?
Capital Projects Engineer.
Brian Cornell, Administrative Services Director.
Leslie Frazier, City Engineer.
David Lucaro, Public Works Operations.
David Athy, Water Resources Manager. Randy Harris, Deputy Fire. Aaron Gordon, Water Supervisor. Dave Norton, Police Chief. Steve Webb, Police Sergeant. Brian Lewis, County Chief. Fire Engineer, Paramedic. Joe Murray, Firefighter. Jason Dodd.
Melissa Bailey, City Librarian. Victoria Deere,
Chris Hewitt, Interim City Manager.
Elizabeth Hull, City Attorney.
Very good. Welcome, everyone. And next we have report out from closed session, legal counsel Elizabeth Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The council went into closed session on a variety of items earlier today. The first was public employee appointment pursuant to Government Code Section 54957B regarding the position of city manager, and then it was also public employee labor negotiations pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6, again related to the city manager position. It is my pleasure to announce that the council has chosen Mr. Hulot as the next city manager for the city of Paso Robles. We will be bringing forward an employment agreement for him at the next meeting. Additionally, the council went into closed session to discuss a conference with legal counsel regarding real property negotiations pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8 regarding a portion of property of Pioneer Park located at 2010 Riverside Avenue. There is no reportable action from that discussion. And finally, the fourth item was conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1. And this related to a case entitled The Tribune versus the City of Paso Robles and Chris Bausch. The City Council did not discuss that item this evening, and therefore there is no reportable action.
Very good. Thank you, Elizabeth. Tonight we have 6 presentations. First was going to be accommodation for Aaron Borden. We have a proclamation for Volunteer Appreciation Week, a proclamation for Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, proclamation for Military Children's Week, proclamation for Sexual Assault Awareness, and recognition of the Paso Robles High School Choir Carnegie Hall performance. So can we start off with, I think, Randy Harris, Deputy Chief? There you are. I'll join you.
Okay, this is a commendation for Aaron Burden. This commendation is for your exceptional dedication to our community and Paso Robles Fire Emergency Services. Your assistance on the Kyler Canyon structure fire December 22nd, 2024 reduced both hazardous and exposures for our firefighters. And the commendation, of course, is for your wall. I appreciate the help.
So I've got to share that it takes a lot to get Aaron up here, so we had to surprise him with this. This is just one incident. Aaron is who we call, and this is on behalf of Fire Chief Stornetta and the entire organization. Aaron is who we call and his department when we need extra help or specialty equipment. He's always our go-to person. And this particular incident was up Kyler Canyon in the county. But there was a particular hazard of this shop that burned with numerous hazards, metal beams, cars, all sorts of stuff that his help coming in on a Sunday morning, saved our crews, not just, the hazard of that, but truly the beams, the work, the time. It was just an enormous help. And we just can't thank you enough, Aaron.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, if I could have Denise Serber come on up. We have a proclamation for National Volunteer Week. Denise? You could go ahead and hold that up, right? So this is National Volunteer Week, April 20 to 26th, 2025. Whereas volunteerism is the backbone of civic engagement, teaching us that government alone cannot solve our nation's social challenges. It is also about giving, contributing, and helping other individuals in our community. And whereas the volunteers of today's contribute to the well-being of fellow residents and the welfare of our residents by giving tireless time, energy, without desire for recognition, remuneration, or personal gain, accepting on ever-increasing and important role as our city strives to meet the needs of growing community. And whereas the city of Paso Robles has richly benefited from the dedication of volunteers who play a role in determining the direction of the city now and for the future years to come. And whereas National Volunteer Week captures the power of the community to come together to build a stronger, more vibrant community through service. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that I, John Hammond, on virtue vested in me as mayor and speaking on behalf of the entire city council, do hereby proclaim April 20th through 26th, 2025 as the National Volunteer Week and urge all citizens to join with me in recognizing the valuable contributions made by our city volunteers.
Thank you, Mayor Hammond. It's a great honor to be the person that accepts this proclamation on behalf of all city volunteers. I believe that we have volunteers working in all of the city's departments, and they range in terms of how long they've been volunteering from probably less than a year to over 30 years. And I think we all enjoy our service to the city. And I want to thank you, Mayor Hammond, and all of the City Council for this proclamation and for the support and appreciation and recognition that you give and the city gives to all volunteers. Thank you.
Russ, would you come on up? Russ Serber, Denise's husband. We have another little special recognition. Yeah, I did. This is a certificate of recognition, Denise E. Serber, Paso Robles City Librarian Volunteer. In appreciation for over 30 years of dedicated volunteer service to the Paso Robles City Library, since February 7th of 1995, Denise has consistently demonstrated her commitment to our library community by serving a system advisory board member representing the Paso Robles to the Black Gold Cooperative Library System, as a library trustee, and as a volunteer. Through her service, she has helped to see the library grow through many changes, including the transition from the Carnegie Library in downtown City Park to its current location on the Spring Street. Recognized as the Library Volunteer of the Year 2026, her commitment is admirable as she continues to play a vital role in the library's development as a volunteer on this day. Congratulations, Denise.
This was a big surprise. This was a big surprise. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Oh, Denise, one more thing. That's the one. Yeah, take that one with you. Next, if I could have Kate McKinley come on out. Okay, welcome. Been here before. This is the National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, April 13th through 19th, 2025. Whereas a professional public safety dispatcher plays a vital role in protection of human life and property and the preservation of law and order guaranteed by our Constitution. And whereas the incidence of crime, alcohol, drug abuse, suicides, medical and fire emergency, broken homes, a child, and elderly abuse are a daily occurrence. And whereas the safety of our public police officers, firefighters, are a public dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained by citizens who telephone into the dispatch center of Paso Robles. And whereas a professional public safety dispatcher is a vital link between the citizens or the victim and the public safety provider who provide and apprehend a criminal, save their worldly possessions from fire or theft, or save their life or the life of a loved one. And therefore, whereas the city of Paso Robles is fortunate to have a wonderful group of dedicated and trained professional public safety dispatchers. And whereas these professionals need and deserve the informed support of our community to continually maintain and improve the quality of public safety dispatching services. And whereas the United States Congress has set aside the full week in April to recognize telecommunicators and their crucial role in protection of life and property. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that I, John Hammond, by virtue of me vested in me as mayor and speaking on behalf of the entire city council, do proclaim the week of April 13th through 19th, 2025, as the National Public Safety Communicators Week in the city of Paso Robles, and wish to commend and dedicate the contribution of our public safety dispatchers. Kate. Thank you, guys. And next we have Suzanne Robitaille. Suzanne? Yeah, why don't you go ahead and hold that for me. All right. Military Child Week, April 20 through 26, 2025. Whereas it is essential to recognize that military families play an important role in the armed forces community, and whereas military families move on an average of 2 to 3 years, and whereas the life of a military child is one of consistent changes and challenges, including separations during deployment and relocations that disrupt friendships and social support. And whereas there are more than 1.6 million military children who face their unique experiences with challenge and courages and selflessness, remaining brave when parents are deployed and resilient when celebrating milestones without them. And whereas we applaud the military children for their daily sacrifices that they make to allow their parents to serve our nation. And whereas we must remember that being a military child means sacrificing for our country without ever wearing a uniform. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that I, John Hammond, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor and speaking on behalf of this city council, do hereby proclaim April 20th to 26th as Military Child Week in the city of Paso Robles. Suzanne? Thanks for coming. Thanks for your comment. I'll go down that line. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Okay. Yeah. Next, if I can have Jill Libereth from Lumina, come on up. Jill, can you hold that for me? Sexual Assault Awareness Month, April 2025. Whereas Sexual Assault Action Month calls attention to the fact that sexual and intimate partner violence is widespread and impacts every person in Paso Robles. And whereas Lumina Alliance provides essential life-saving services for survivors, their children, and families throughout San Luis Obispo County, including Paso Robles. And whereas sexual assault can result in physical injury, psychological trauma, and even death, the devastating consequences to sexual assault can cross generations and can cause a lifetime of heartache. Whereas the marginalization of certain groups in society, including undocumented individuals, transgender individuals, and others living with disabilities increase their vulnerability to sexual assault. Whereas Lumina Alliance continues to provide a safe environment to those affected by sexual violence within a 24-hour crisis line, advocacy, therapy, transitional and emergency housing, and prevention education, with the help of devoted volunteers and professionals. Whereas Lumina Alliance has received over 2,000 calls to the crisis line and information line, providing housing to 171 emergency shelter clients, including 70 children, and providing more than 4,200 hours of therapy. Whereas Lumina Alliance serves a bright light, dark times for the survivors of sexual assault, eliminating the path toward safety and healing. Whereas the City of Paso Robles strongly supports the efforts of Lumina Alliance, however every segment of our society can work together to better address sexual violence and how to help survivors connect with services. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that I, John Hammond, by virtue of me as mayor, speaking on behalf of the City Council, in recognition of the important work done by sexual violence programs, do hereby proclaim the month of April to be National Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Really
Jill.
appreciate it. Sexual Assault Awareness Month was started in 2001. Yeah, 2001. And so we've been serving this county for long before that as well. And we're really proud to have our newest office in Paso Robles serving the entire county. So I know that we've gone through many name changes and consolidations. It was Women's Shelter and Rise and SARP Center, and now it's Lumina Alliance, and we cover the entire county. So thank you so much. It means a great deal to us to have your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. And can I have Gayleen Ewing come on up? Gayleen? Gayleen is the choir director for the Paso Robles High School. You got some of your students? Yeah, cool. So we have a little recognition for your accomplishment. This is the Paso Robles High School Choir. On behalf of the City of Paso Robles and the City Council, we congratulate you on being invited to perform at Carnegie Hall, New York City, April 3rd through 7th, 2025. This incredible opportunity is a testament to the dedication and talent and hard work of the Paso Robles High School choir students and their instructor. So, would you like to say something, Gayleen?
Yeah, I'll say something. Thank you. Thank you so much, council members, for recognizing. I just want to extend a huge notion of gratitude to our community, because this really was actually quite a hallmark story. We got invited to perform, and we needed a lot of support, and the community of Paso Robles really showed up, and it was beautiful. And the performance, which these wonderful singers were a part of, was beautiful. We were part of a Baroque choir that performed on April 6th in Carnegie Hall, and it was pretty epic, would you guys say? Yeah. So thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Moving on. General public comments. This is the time that the public may address the City Council on items within the Council's purview, but not scheduled on tonight's agenda. All persons desiring to speak on the agenda or on the item are asked to fill out a speaker cord and give it to their city clerk when they come up to speak. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. Those wishing to speak on any item scheduled on tonight's agenda will be given the opportunity when the item comes up for its discussion on our agenda tonight. So we'll start with, it looks like, Dale.
Yeah, Dale Guston, Paso Robles. I want to invite everyone who doesn't have something to do on Good Friday night, you're welcome to come to Flamson School, where we're going to have a Good Friday service presented by many, many churches in the community at 6 o'clock at Flamson on Good Friday. Also, I haven't got an answer to my question. What percentage of the fines that were illegally passed on the parking were actually refunded?
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Anyone online?
Yes, sir. I have one caller. It's Linda George.
Oh, okay. Linda, go ahead. We can hear you.
Good. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Linda George, 3126 Spring Street. I want to congratulate Chris Hewitt once again. I think it's awesome. Secondly, I have a couple concerns about serving alcohol in the library. I guess there's going to be some wine event. My follow-up question to that is, if we're going to do wine, are we going to do beer, and we're going to do cannabis? I think it's inappropriate, but that's my personal opinion. Are we zoned ordinances for alcohol to be served in the library? Secondly, the clapping. You don't allow clapping when we are there doing things for ourselves. And you shut us down, Mayor, and then you tell us you're going to excuse us from the building. I was going to say this the last time I was there. So why is the clapping appropriate when you're okay with it, but not when we're clapping for ourselves? I personally did not feel like it was disruptive, but since I'm listening to it online, it is very disruptive. So sorry, I'm sick. I sound a little grumpy. So I am concerned about the library serving alcohol. I do think it's inappropriate. I'll save that for now. But once again, congratulations, Chris. I hope you never need an assistant city manager. I think you're going to do a bang-up job. Thank you.
Thank you. We have one other, and we'll get to answer the question there in a minute. Helka, go ahead, and if you want to address it, sir, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is John Brzee, and I'm here tonight on behalf of Central Coast Surf Soccer Club. We're a local nonprofit serving several hundred youth players in this area and families throughout the community. I'm here to respectfully request that the issue of youth sport field access, particularly for soccer, be placed on the agenda for next meeting. Right now, organizations like ours are struggling to find reliable space for kids to practice and play games. We're seeing an increasing difficulty in accessing fields due to closures, reallocation, and growing competition for space. The result, teams are being forced to overcrowd limited spaces and or cancel trainings, compete for fields that no longer meet basic safety. And we have several teams traveling outside of the area to train. We have Paso Robles teams, including some examples in the audience here today, that are traveling to San Luis Obispo and Santa Maria just to practice because we don't have adequate field space here. Soccer is more than just a sport. It's a way to keep kids healthy mentally and physically. It builds character. It boosts school performance. It promotes parent volunteerism and strengthens our community. But without consistent access to playable fields, these benefits are harder to deliver, especially as our community continues to grow. Our Paso Robles youth soccer community is strong with several amazing soccer programs. We're just one of probably 6 programs here. We have AYSO, we have DSJ, we have Paso Robles youth soccer, and several more. We're willing to work with the city as trusted stewards of the fields, helping maintain and monitor fields to keep them in playable condition. This can reduce maintenance costs for the city, ensuring that fields are used responsibly and for the benefit of our youth. We believe this conversation aligns strongly with the goals outlined in the city's strategic plan for recreation services. Under Goal 1, Optimize Access, the plan emphasizes providing accessible recreation offerings throughout the community. We're asking for field access to be equitable and reflect the scale of youth participation. Goal 2 Forging strategic partnerships. The city aims to collaborate with community groups to maximize use of recreation facilities. We're ready to do exactly that. That was goal 3. Goal 2 is to foster diversity and inclusion. Expanding services for all ages and socioeconomic levels is key. Our club serves a wide range of families, and greater field access supports this goal directly. So tonight, I respectfully ask that this issue be added to the next council meeting agenda. I also encourage the council to consider forming a task force on working or a working group that includes city representatives and local youth sports organizations, so we can collaborate on long-term solutions. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Yep, we have one more here. Welcome, ma'am.
I wasn't going to speak tonight. My name is Gloria Fema, and I'll fill out the card when I'm done. I'm with the Paso Robles Democratic Club, and it doesn't matter what side of the aisle I'm on. What's going on in Washington, I think, concerns all of us. It is what our Constitution is based on, and I don't know how anyone can be complacent while due process is being taken away from so many residents, legal residents. And I want you all to know that you're invited to join us Saturday at 10 o'clock, 11th and 12th Street and Spring Street for another protest. That's all.
All right, thank you. And Angelica, can you answer a few questions? The first one was library, and then we have the soccer that we might be able to address.
Yes, Angelica Fortin, Community Services Director. The library is hosting an event. It's actually a wine education event. We've hosted this several years ago. When the library hosts this event, we do apply for an alcohol license. We do have security, and it's a 21 and up event, and it's focused on educating folks on how to taste wine. In the past, the library has also hosted fundraisers that do serve alcohol within the building. We ensure that there are no children in the building, and like I said, we do have security available.
So we're meeting all the guidelines and regulations for doing such an event?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And then the other question is about soccer fields.
Yes, thank you. So we are bringing the conversation regarding soccer fields back to City Council. We are scheduling for next month. Currently, the Recreation Services Department has sent out a survey to one member, or to the lead member of our user groups, so that we can better assess the needs regarding soccer fields. To date, a lot of the information that we have is anecdotal. We have people who call and report, so we were trying to take a better assessment, but we do recognize that we have been having some issues with field reservations.
Yeah, I know it's a challenge that we have so many playing, there's only so much space, and we have to, basically program all that. Yeah.
And also quite exciting that we have so much activity happening out there. Yeah.
Very good. All right. Thank you, Angelica. Okay. Seeing none more, anyone else online at this point? Michelle?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. We'll go ahead then and move on to item N, and that is for our interim city manager, agenda items to be deferred. Mr. Huat.
Mayor, I have no items for deferral this evening.
Very good. Next, we have overview of the items on consent calendar. Mr. Huat.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Tonight we have 12 items on your consent calendar. The first is the approval of the meeting minutes from your April 1st City Council meeting. Item number 2 is the receipt of advisory body minutes. This is for the Youth Commission meeting that was held on March 5th, 2025. Item 3 is the receipt of the warrant register or payments made by the city since your last meeting. Since that time, a total of $3.4 million of payments have been made. I'll outline the notable items of $100,000 or more in payments. That includes 4 items tonight. The first is a payment to Lopez Jr. and Sons General Engineering. This is for work related to the pedestrian improvements at 24th Street near the Event Center, in the amount of $104,418.32. The next item is to Papich Construction. This payment was made for the construction contract related to the Golden Hill Road repairs in the amount of $1,927,546.67. The third item is a payment to J.J. Fisher Construction. This is for the construction of the new pickleball court complex in the amount of $360,821.40. And then the last item is a payment to San Luis Obispo County Animal Services. This is for the third quarter payment related to the animal control services that the county provides in the city in the amount of $116,478. Moving on, item number 4 is the receipt of the treasurer's report for January 2025, and then item 5 is that same report, but for February of 2025. Item number 6 is a declaration of certain property that is surplus and approval of its disposal. This is not real property. This is property of the city, like computers and the like. Item number 7 is an appointment of Diane Hull to fill a longstanding vacancy on the Supplemental Sales Tax Oversight Committee to fill a term through March 31st of 2028. Item number 9 is approval of a contract for waste disposal, predominantly related to ongoing cleanup of the Salinas Riverbed. Item number 9 is approval of a construction contract for our annual pavement striping and marking refreshment. Item number 10 is an approval of an agreement with M&S Engineers. This is to provide construction management services for the future construction of the South Vine Bridge project. We're getting bids back here pretty quick on that project, and the intent is to have the construction management team on board to help with review in part of those bids that come in. Item number 11 is the approval of an award of a construction contract. This is related to improvements to 2 parking lots that the city owns in downtown at 12th and Railroad Street, as well as the parking lot that is next to Marv's Pizza. This has been a longstanding community goal as well as a council goal to make improvements to those lots to improve lighting and other infrastructure. And so this is a contract to get that work going. And then the last item on your consent calendar this evening is the approval of a construction contract for pedestrian and bicycle enhancements adjacent to Flamson Middle School. This project is paid for through a grant or multiple grants that have been provided by SLOCOG. With that, that concludes the overview of the consent calendar. Happy to answer any questions. Excuse me.
Okay. So the consent calendar are considered routine and not normally requiring separate discussion. However, if any member of the council or the public has a specific question or wants clarification on an item, we can get those answered before the item is up for vote. Secondly, any member of the council or the public wanting to pull a full discussion on the item will cause the item to be pulled from the consent calendar and considered separately at the end of discussion items tonight's agenda. I will now ask the council if they have any questions or wish any items to be pulled. Anyone from this left side?
I just have questions.
Okay. Let me get over here for a second. Going to be over here? So we have one over here? Okay. Go ahead, Chris.
Great. This is related to, let's see, item the 7, the appointment. And I always appreciate people willing to step up for service on our advisory committee meetings. If someone could give me information on what the process was. I've been through a couple of interviews so far, and I was under the impression that there was going to be a special kind of open invitation to apply. So if someone could explain that.
And maybe I'll rely on Mr. Cornell to supplement where I don't get this correct. But typically, the appointment process is an open recruitment process where anyone can submit applications. It goes through a vetting process with the council at an advisory body, a special meeting that you recommend individuals for appointment. In the case of our stock committee, we've had vacancies for long periods of time, which has impacted in some cases the potential for the group to meet because there's a lack of a quorum. So earlier this year, this body appointed an individual. We went through a recruitment process. I think we had 1 application for 2 spots. And so the council appointed the individual that submitted the application. At the time, staff indicated that there was, an interest in trying to get this other spot filled as quickly as possible. I think soon after, that application period closed and the appointment was made, we had an interested individual approach, I believe staff, to see if there was a possibility of applying. Typically, it's outside the normal appointment process, but in the past, when there have been longstanding vacancies, we do try to expedite the process. So in this case, it's brought forward for your consideration this evening to fill that slot. So that's kind of in a nutshell how this process occurred. I wouldn't say that the standalone appointment process is the norm, but in cases where we have longstanding vacancies or a vacancy where we have a board that doesn't regularly get a quorum, we do our best to try to expedite the process so those advisory bodies remain fully filled.
Thank you. That was helpful. Ryan, I'm just curious, how often does the group not have a quorum?
Hi there. Since we've taken over in 2020 with J20, we haven't had an issue of quorum. This last meeting, we were one away from not meeting quorum. And then I also want to add that Diane Hall is in attendance tonight. So if you do have any questions for her directly, she is more than willing to come up and answer any questions.
Right. No, and Ms. Hall looks wonderfully qualified. I appreciate it. Again, it's a process issue to make sure that, people have the opportunity to apply. And I know it's been difficult. My feeling would be to up the advertising efforts rather than kind of put them on consent calendar, because I think that sort of defies the point of having a, kind of a citizen open process.
Okay. Is that all you have? Okay. Pro Tem Gregory.
Yes. For the record, I recommended that Diane apply because I know her experience and what she's all about. And I have to say that Ryan and his crew do a really good job of advertising, Chris, but sometimes we just don't get applicants. And when you have somebody with Diane's qualifications, I'd be reticent not to get her on because she's so qualified. Right. And that's all I want to say to the comment. But welcome aboard if we approve you.
And thank you for applying.
Yeah, appreciate the service. Councilman Bausch.
And just for the record, the applicants for any of the advisory bodies, they still come up on the consent agenda just for routine approval anyway. Even after we go through the vetting process that you've been a part of, they still come back on the consent agenda. So she'd still show up whether she'd been, beat out 5 or 6 other people. She'd still have to come up on the consent.
There's no doubt that she would do very well in an interview process. So I'm just saying that if I had known that this was a kind of an open process, I would have worked during this time period to be recruiting someone. So we could
maybe she could come to one of your coffees.
That'd be great.
Councilman Bausch, did you have a question on the? Nothing. Okay. I'll go to Dale and anyone in public. I have some items too, but go ahead, Dale. Do you have a question?
Dale Guston, I rise to object to Diane Hull. I don't believe she's appropriate to be on that committee.
Good, thank you. Anyone else on the public side for consent? Seeing none, I'll bring it back. Being as we have a pretty light calendar tonight, and I don't want to put Ditas on the spot, but what I would like to try to do is if I could maybe get very brief descriptions, if we have it up on the slide, of items 10, 11, and 12, just to let the public know what improvements we're going to be doing. Again, I know you've been doing it through your monthly report, but now that we're voting on it and it's happening, 10 is the approval of the agreement with MNS Engineers to provide construction management service for South Vine project. Do we have a slide showing the actual project that we can throw up?
It's, well, yes, I show it every month on my CIP report, the rendering of the bridge.
Uh-huh.
I think maybe they might have it in their folder.
Yeah, I hate putting you on the spot, but that's what I was wanting to do, just to let the public know.
So the bridge project was designed to address the settlement agreement with the gateway developer. Mm-hmm. And the city is responsible to build this bridge. It's a truss bridge, and there's the before picture on the left. That's what it looks like now, and then once it's completed, it looks like the one on the right. It's a truss bridge. It's about 100, the bridge itself is 150 feet in length. The width is about 51 feet. It will have 2 lanes of traffic each way. There will be a middle lane for turning. Both sides of the bridge will have a 6-foot wide bike path. And then on the west side, and you can see there's a picture of people on their bike, will be a protective biking lane. Once you get on the bridge, you're protected from the travel lanes.
Like a barrier, yeah.
Yes, there's
Yep.
a barrier over there. When we issued a request for proposal for the bridge, and 3 firms responded to the proposal. They were all qualified, and since there were only 3 of them, staff decided to go ahead and do a live interview for each of them. We invited a representative from the Gateway developer to be in the panel. We had the design engineer, which is Stantec, the city's design engineer, on the panel, as well as the public works director and myself. We interviewed all 3 consultants, and we concluded that M&S was the best fit. They demonstrated the most experience in doing and completing projects that's like ours, which is the truss bridge, and their technical expertise was very stellar, and we decided to negotiate a final fee with them. They are local, they're in San Luis Obispo, and we negotiated the fee and the final scope, and we came to an agreement. And so here we are recommending that we award the project to them. This is a big project, and staff does require someone to assist us through the intricacies of the construction process.
So this is going to be management services working for the city in conjunction with the actual builder of the project, right?
Yes, but they will be under contract with the city.
Right.
And they will be our eyes and ears in the field to make sure that the contractor follows all the specifications. Also, there's a lot of coordination with Caltrans, coordination with the fishing game, the regional board, providing storm drain mitigation, just a whole slew of things that needs to be accomplished that requires assistance by a technical person. In addition to this project, staff will be managing Creston Road and the various road repairs that we're doing. So we need help to do this very large project.
Excellent.
And the bids are due for the project this Thursday, hoping we get a really good bid within our projected budget so that on May 6th, we would be able to come to you to award the contract. So, and this project's been in the works since 2013, actually.
It's a long time, exactly. Okay, perfect, thank you. And then the next one, 11, is the approval, award of construction contract for the downtown parking lot rehabilitation, 12th Street, Marv's Pizza area. Do we have an overview, maybe a site plan of that? No? Well, most people understand what it is, but it's also the parking lot along with the alleyways that connect both the 13th and Spring, right?
Yeah, come May, I think, well, unless we have the historical of the CIP that I did just at our first meeting. Anyway, yeah. So the parking lot next to Marv's, along with the alley, the drainage on the alley will be improved, and some lights. And then the other parking lot is the one at 12th and Railroad. We will, and then the key thing on the 12th and Railroad is we are installing electrical vehicle charge. We will redo the configuration to accommodate more parking, and there will be additional lights and some improvement of the street furniture along 12th Street and Railroad with park benches, ornamental trash cans, and some decorative lighting. And
is the lighting going to be consistent with the other lighting we're doing in the downtown, or is it going to be different for the parking lots?
It's consistent to what we have like at Golden Hill, Union Road, those type of decorative lighting.
Okay. And the other question on that, Ditas, and that is, are we going to actually mark the crosswalk there Because there are no markings for crosswalks to that lot
On 12th Street,
on street or railroad.
there's currently no crosswalk markings on 12th Street, but we'll take a look at it.
Well, we're at least on railroad, if nothing else.
Okay, sure.
Because right now, there's not one even across railroad.
Even an old one, right?
Yeah, nothing.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll take a look at it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, was there another one I was really kind of,
Was it the Flamson?
yeah, what, do you have an overview of the Flamson work?
Okay, so the Flamson project's been in the works for quite some time. We receive a grant from San Luis Obispo Council of Government to install those push buttons, RRFB pedestrian buttons, so that it blinks at 24th Street and Oak. So we will be installing that. We will be putting enhanced striping and just safety for pedestrians as the kids go back and forth to school. We have an $750,000 grant for the project. It also included a $50,000 for design. And
So it looks like we have bulb outs.
and bulb outs to decrease so that pedestrians have a shorter distance to cross the street,
right,
so that they're not rushing to go across the street, to give them time to cross safely. And then also there's some enhancements on actually Spring Street. And then we're also redoing all the markings at the intersection at Spring and 24th. So again, this project's been in the works for quite some time. It would have been in construction last summer, but the first time we went out to bid, the project came out too high and we didn't have adequate funds. So we had to rebid, and then we didn't want to do it immediately because we wanted to take advantage of the summer session. So we had to wait until now so we can take the advantage of the summer session come June.
No kids around.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, well, great. Didn't want to be at the shortest meeting ever, so I thought.
Not tonight.
Yeah, almost did. Okay, thank you, Ditas, appreciate it. All right, so we have items 1 through 12 on the consent calendar and back to council. Any discussion and or action on this?
Mayor Hammond?
Mayor Hammond,
Who?
I don't know where that came
we
from.
have a caller online regarding one of the items on consent.
You bet, let's go ahead and hear that.
It's Linda George.
Linda, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm back, grumpy and sick. Number 8, approval of contract for waste disposal in the Salinas Riverbed. How often do they go down? That's a $200,000 contract. Is it the same contractor? Were they open for bids for a new contractor this year? What is it that they actually clean as far as hazardous? And is the CAT team involved in that?
Okay, thank you. We'll get some answers.
Thank you. I'm done.
Chief, or
Good evening, Steve Boyette.
Steve?
Police Sergeant. I manage the CAT team.
Not yet. I was going to say, sorry, Chief.
Our current contractors are down in the riverbed twice a week, ranging anywhere from about 4 to 7 hours each time. And that contract is managed by our CAT team.
I see. So this is just the next section that we're approving for them to keep working.
Correct.
Right.
It's fiscal year 24-25. We had an adopted budget of $150,000. We entered in a contract with them for $99,000. So we're kind of running out of funds right now, and so we're asking to go up to the $150,000 and then also extend another $150,000 for the 25-26.
Got it. Okay. Any questions, Council? No. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
All right. I think I heard Pro Tem Gregory with the first.
Yep.
Who was the second?
Yep.
Second. Well,
Items 1 through 12.
I think I heard a second over here, though. Was it Councilman Strong? Okay, so we have a motion by Gregory, second by Strong. Any discussion? Call for the question, Melissa.
Councilmember Gregory?
Aye.
Councilmember Strong?
Aye.
Councilmember Bausch?
Aye.
Councilmember Beal?
Aye.
Mayor Hammond?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Very good. We're up to City Manager's report. Mr. Hua.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Mayor and City Council. First, I just want to thank you all for, again, the confidence you've shown in me, and I know we have some formalities to go through, but I look forward to continuing to serve the city to the best of my ability. I say this every time, but it's the men and women that are out here and that are working each and every day that really make our city great and doing work on behalf of our residents and visitors. So I again, I greatly appreciate the honor and the confidence. I look forward to working with all of you in this continued new capacity, and very excited about the opportunity. With that being said, we have been doing a lot of work lately. I just quickly provide you an update on a few things. The first is that we had our first ad hoc committee meeting related to the Niblick corridor design work, and that went well. I want to thank Warren for running that. We got a lot of good feedback, and we are working with our design team to bring forward some new concepts to the ad hoc committee based on that feedback. They're going to meet again in May, so we'll do a check-in with them in May and then determine kind of what the next pathway looks like to moving that process forward. But I just wanted to let you know we're working on that. And then you'll see some later this week that also in Warren's shop that the city received an award for the work that our student group with Cal Poly did on some design concepts related to the North Chandler plans. And so they won an award, a planning award, recognizing them for that work. And that information was presented to the Planning Commission, I believe, last year in March. So an exciting time to see, again, that collaboration. So with that being said, that'll conclude my report for tonight. And I look forward to, again, what the future may hold here. Thank you very much.
Welcome to your new capacity.
Mayor Hammond, can I ask Chris a quick question? Who's on the ad hoc committee?
Oh, it's a pop
Design, or
quiz.
maybe Warren?
It's Commissioner Kogler, Christensen, and Covarrubias.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, moving on then to council comments and business from the council level. I'll start with my left, Chris Beal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank staff for continuing my training. My meeting with Ditas and Frida was very, very helpful. I continue to learn. And also with City Engineer Leslie Frazier, I have all new words in my vocabulary. And keep me posted on that speed survey on Vine Street. I'm looking forward to it. Housing Authority, they still have vacancies at the 55 plus property. So if you have any questions about that, come and talk to me. They're also having active conversations with a few different property owners. And so this is very exciting about the possibility of developing more affordable housing. I attended the Library Board of Trustee meeting. It was really wonderful. There were people there giving public comment about sort of what library meant to them. And who knew, they're actually having a ricotta class that I'll be attending in May. If you have any questions about that, join me as they reimagine the study center up in the north part of town. I met with people from the Workforce Development Board, sort of looking, trying to understand some of the dynamics and factors around workforce development and jobs and what that could possibly look like in our town. And I want to thank the mayor for reviving the city district Cuesta meeting. I think it's very helpful, especially with the conversations around the need for playing fields, able to communicate information about what's going to be going on Creston Road in front of all those schools. I think those conversations are important. And, I think there's a lot of ways that we could be communicating, collaborating, cooperating in ways to better serve our residents. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Chris. Councilman Strong.
Well, thank you. Mr. Mayor, thank you very much. And the day after we last met, at our last meeting, you may recall that we approved the creation of the group to overlook our basin. And we had big objections from some people, especially about the county's inclusion because of Bruce Gibson and how he was so anti-Paso Robles. Well, oddly enough, the very next day, there was a SLOCOG board meeting. And at the SLOCOG board meeting, we have been advocating for our projects here in Paso Robles on Highway 46 especially, and the bridge over the highway. And this person from the Board of Supervisors named Bruce Gibson stood up and was the most ardent advocate for Paso Robles that you would ever want to hear. He just really made a huge case in favor of that bridge and said it's absolutely essential because of the potential death rate along that highway, and how that 2-mile stretch is the worst death area along the entire county highway or state highway all the way out to I-5. And in fact, there's more deaths in that 2 miles than there is on the rest of the highway combined. So that's a very important bridge to stop those at-grade crossings, because that's how the accidents happen. And of course, with his advocacy combined with mine, it was unanimously approved that it becomes the #1 project and priority in the county. So that will get the first funding of the new funding that's coming up. So that's really good news. And then we had more good news when the RTA met right after that, following that meeting on the same day. And they announced that Paso Robles had the best ridership of any area in the county for the bus systems. The Route 9, San Luis Obispo, has more riders and is the only one in the entire county that's paying its own way. That's how many riders we've got every day. So it's wonderful.
Is that the one they use the battery bus on? No?
They tried to use the battery bus on it. No, but the grade was just too much for the batteries at this point in time. So they're not using that. They're using a hydrogen fuel or something like that, diesel at the moment.
Right.
If they get better batteries, then maybe they can do it, but not now. In any event, then they went on and talked about our city buses, and they're the best ridership in the entire county too. And so our routes are being looked at for improvement, and one of the things that they noted was they're going to put an extra bus on that serves the schools, because the school children after school are using the buses to get back home more than any other area in the county too. And they have to put an extra bus on just for the high school, because so many of the kids at the high school are taking the bus system, the transit, and that's important. And they're looking to improve our service here in Paso Robles even more. So that's more good news. So that was all then. And then, of course, there was the Housing Authority, which Chris has already given a good report on. I don't need to repeat what she's already said. And then there was the Library Board of Trustees, where I was our city rep, and she was public. But as members of the public, she noted everything that happened. So I don't have to give that report either. And she spoke as a member of the public and did a great job, and made some great comments to the board. So I think that's a congratulations on that. Now then, I stood in for her and Mr. Bausch on the Senior Citizens Advisory Committee meeting when neither of them could make that meeting. And so I was there, and that was, I thought, a very interesting meeting. I was running a program at the Senior Center down the hall from there, so I just had to vacate that one temporarily and leave a substitute there while I was gone and go and attend this meeting, though. But I got it done. And am I glad I did, because it was absolutely amazing. So one of the things they did was they're recruiting for 2 new members on that board, as they also are on the Youth Commission. I don't think I mentioned the Youth Commission yet either, have I? Well, on the Youth Commission meeting, they are just going bonkers. I mean, they are volunteering like crazy for our next 4th of July, but also they are looking to recruit 14 to 16 applicants for their board for next year. I asked them if they were just trying to overwhelm the council, because we can't interview that many in that night.
We had a bunch
We'd have to have 2 nights of interviews just for the youth council. Wow. But and they laughed and said, yes, yeah, we'd love to.
Now, they're dark during summer, right? They don't meet.
Oh, no.
They still go through the summer months too?
Even during the summer,
okay, I wasn't
not.
sure. Okay.
It's slightly different way they meet, but they still meet.
Okay.
And there's more more entertainment than there is meeting. But they volunteer a lot then, because they are the volunteers for our concert series. They're also the volunteers now for the 4th of July. And they do a lot of volunteering. Plus, they run the teen canteen, and they even run that in the summertime, too. So that was their creation. The group, that's an amazing body. They may be young, but boy, are they sharp. The next generation is going to be just great. We don't have to worry about the future. Not in Paso Robles, anyway. But getting back to the senior citizens, one of the things I found the most interesting in that whole meeting, because most of it was pretty routine, but they came up with 2 different guides that they want for older patients. And I am encouraging us to take a good look at these, because we should make these available to every citizen, not just the senior citizens. One of them is the Emergency Survival Guide for the older person. Well, my gosh, I think every person needs these kind of things, to know how much water, what kind of flashlight, what radio you have, hygienic supplies, food, first aid kits, prescriptions, the phone numbers that you need to know, smoke detectors, fire extinguisher, you name it. I mean, all these great things that you need during an earthquake and during and after an emergency. So, great guide, shouldn't be just for seniors. The other one they have is Senior Resource Guide. And that one blew me away just as well. And they're being in the process of printing them now for the senior center. But I'm hoping that we can talk them into printing this up for the whole city, because I think every citizen should have a chance to get this. And this is a complete list of telephone numbers for every service you can imagine that you might need. The emergency services, counseling support groups, caregiving, education, multi-service nonprofit agencies, end-of-life respite care, equipment, food and nutrition goods, health services, home health services, home and housing and home services, human services, legal services, placement in facilities, transportation, veteran support, dial-a-ride, technology, volunteer support, you name it. This is like another one. Should have access for every citizen. And I hope we look into that in the future. But that's pretty much my report.
Okay. I was kind of hoping to do a record here tonight, but kind of it's okay, Fred. It's okay. Councilman Strong, or Councilman Bausch, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Congratulations, City Manager Chris Hewitt. Well deserved. So I want to thank the council members who've covered for me while I've been working away on what appears to be an ever expanding list of public record requests. I'll just take this moment to wish a happy Passover, a very blessed Holy Week, and a very happy and holy Easter to the citizens of Paso Robles. Thank you.
Pro Tem Gregory.
Yeah, thank you. Fred, first of all, thank you for filling in for me. Chris is going to, so you did, but she couldn't. And for the record, that senior guide, this is the second time around, and our supervisor, John Bashong, paid for that out of his community money.
Very good.
So, but it's a service for seniors throughout the whole county, and it's really a wonderful idea. So, I want to make sure you knew who paid for it. I've been a little bit busy and on the other end of the continent, so I wasn't home a lot, but I did get 2 meetings in today. So I got a meeting with our staff about the bridge on Vine Street, and we reviewed that in detail. And then today I went to the Travel Paso meeting, and they're battling lower occupancy rates right now. So things are starting to look up for the summertime. And I heard through the grapevine the fall's looking really good, and it feels like things are getting busier. And also, I'd like to congratulate Mr. Hewitt. Thank you, Chris, for taking more phone calls than is humanly necessary from me. And then I like to talk. Anyway, so thank you, and thank you to our staff, and that's it for me.
Very good. Thank you, Steve. For me, starting off, we had the Paso Robles and high school and the city of Paso Robles quarterly meeting, which heretofore we did many, many years ago and kind of gone by the wayside, but now we're starting to pick it up again, which is good communication between the two agencies, and I think it can only help and benefit both. I had two IWMA meetings. We're in the middle of getting our new executive director search going and almost complete. Also, same thing going on with APCD. We had a meeting again today also on that, where we're also in the middle of looking for a director. So that's moving ahead. Also had the first meeting of the Joint Powers Authority for the Paso Water Basin here in this room. It was attended by many, many folks. And just getting off the ground. We're going to have another meeting coming up here in, I think, a week or so, 2 weeks, I think. I also be happy to report that Sensorio opened up another exhibit. Ken Hunter and the artist Bruce Monroe did a new ribbon cutting the other day on a new project. You've got to go see it. It's got lights, obviously, but it also has a symphony that plays along with it, which I wasn't able to stay that long. It wasn't dark yet, but it's going to be something to see. We're going back definitely to take a look at that. We are also, Mr. Huat, Mr. Sloan, and myself are going to the City Leaders Summit this next week to knock on some doors and meet some folks and tell them what we need here in Paso Robles. It's going to be a good opportunity. So, upcoming events, we have Development Review Committee, April 21st, 3:30. The Paso Robles Planning Commission meeting, April 22nd, Tuesday evening here in this room, 6:30. We have Council Member Steve Gregory's office hours, April 23rd, 9 a.m. And where do you have that?
Just Baked.
Just Baked.
Right down the park.
Yep, Park Street. Then we have DRC, Development Review Committee, April 28th, 3:30. Also again, on the May 5th, DRC is meeting here again at 3:30 upstairs. We have the next meeting for us, Paso Robles City Council meeting, May 6th at 6 p.m. coming up next. And so today is April 15th, tax day. I hope everybody made that. And I'd like to adjourn in the name of Holy Week and have a happy Easter Sunday. So if we're looking for a motion for that.
So, John.
Yep, go ahead.
Chris, are you having an office hours this coming Saturday?
Nope, April is off. I went to other people's events this month.
Just want to make sure. I'll approve the adjournment.
Motion by Gregory.
Second.
Second by Strong. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We stand adjourned.